Brilliance Audio presents The Bird King by Willow Wilson, performed by Emirate. Hassan was deep in prayer. He was not on his knees, however, nor bowing toward the gold-painted medallion in the southeast corner of his workroom that marked the direction of Mecca. Instead, he sat on a cushion in the sun with his legs crossed and a string of wooden prayer beads slack in his hand. His eyes focused on something Fatima could not see. She had no way of knowing how long he had been in this attitude when she slipped into his room from the shaded path she had taken through the court of myrtles. Sweat glowed on Hassan's brow where the sun struck it, and when she stepped on his shadow with her bare foot, the marble tiles beneath were cold. He might have been there for hours, so lost in God that he had trouble finding his way out again. His lips were parted as if he had gone silent in mid-conversation. A holy name had been upon them, but which? "Hey," whispered Fatima, guessing. Yet that syllable fell on the wrong part of the palate. "Who?" she guessed again. There was a door in the western wall that hadn't been there on Fatima's last visit to Hassan's workroom. It stood innocently ajar in its frame of white plaster. A simple rectangle of wood, dotted with iron fastenings. Its edges cracked and dry, as if it had been there as long as the Alhambra itself. Fatima stood on one foot and leaned sideways to peek around the door, shielding her body behind its solid bulk to protect herself from whatever might lie beyond it. Her worry proved needless. Through the doorway was the familiar lantern-shaped interior of the Mexor. Fatima could see the outline of its low balcony and the wood-paneled ceiling above. The small dais at the end of the chamber, where the sultan sat to hear lawyers argue and listen to the complaints of his viziers. It was empty now, though it still smelt of incense, as if the men who spent their days in its rich gloom had only just left. It was certainly the Mexor, yet the Mexor was on the far side of the court of myrtles, in the opposite direction. It was convenient to have a door there. Startled, Fatima turned and shut the door abruptly behind her. Hassan was alert now, smiling, his velvet brown eyes lucid and unperturbed, as though falling into trances and summoning passageways out of solid walls were ordinary late summer occupations. "I got tired of walking back and forth across the courtyard in this heat," he continued, getting to his feet. "Why should the royal mapmaker burn to a crisp when all the other viziers and secretaries sit inside all day? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can easily make another." Fatima looked over her shoulder and saw only the chalky plaster wall she had seen 100 times before, uninterrupted by passages of any kind. "I didn't mean to close it," she said. "It's just that you startled me." "I said it doesn't matter." Hassan, yawning, shuffled to the stone balustrade that ran the sunny length of his workroom. It looked out through a series of slender wooden arches onto the green hedgeways that gave the court of myrtles its name, separating Hassan's quarters from the courtyard in the briefest and most ceremonial way. Maps drawn on parchment and vellum and linen were piled along its length and weighted with stones, their edges curling in the heat while the ink upon them dried.